From downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now, Special Edition.
Breaking news tonight, a Gonzaga student is in the hospital with deadly injuries because of reportedly shooting themselves early this morning. Good evening and thanks for staying up with us. I'm Emily Bloom. According to school administration, 911 responded to a call around 4:15 this morning. In an email sent by Gonzaga's president, Thane McCullough, the student suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound in their on-campus apartment, and several people were present. A statement released by the university says, in part, based on the information currently available, there is no ongoing threat to members of the community related to this terrible situation. The student was transported to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. Our deepest concerns and prayers are with the injured student, family, friends, and those present when the incident occurred. Counseling and other support services are being provided to anyone impacted. Gonzaga is cooperating with and supporting the Spokane Police Department in the active investigation. You can find that full story on KXLY.com. Meanwhile, police are searching for the person who stabbed and killed a man in Spokane Valley. Police say 2 men were fighting in a neighborhood near Boone and Dorn Court. One man stabbed the other and took off. That victim died at the hospital.
Trying to figure out what the relationship is between the suspect and the victim, what led up to this, how they know each other, all the things that are going to help us in our investigation.
Police are looking for a white man in his 20s or 30s with dark curly hair. He was wearing black pants and a gray hoodie with darker shoulders and a hood. Police say it's possible he could be hurt. Anyone with any information is asked to call Crime Check. That number is on your screen right now. That is 509-456-2233. And if you're driving along the interstate and you see some smoke coming up around Cheney, well, don't worry, it is a prescribed burn. Ken Meinart, the fire management specialist for the Turnbull Wildlife Refuge, says that these fires are to preserve the habitat and to prevent wildfires. Meinart says the majority of the burn work was done today and fire professionals are on site making sure that the burn is secure. And the weather has been gorgeous this weekend. As we venture into fall, very slowly but surely, we do have a few air quality alerts. We've got meteorologist Matt Gray in studio with us. And Matt, what do we all need to be aware of?
Yeah, we are still talking about air quality from time to time as we go through the weekend because it's just been so darn warm, and so those fires, those natural fires, keep smoking as we go on through this weekend. Otherwise, it has been another gorgeous day. We've had such a wonderful weather pattern. 70s again for highs today, lows in the 40s this morning. We've already dropped down into the upper 50s now as we are in the 8 o'clock hour, and another perfectly dry day around the region. Expect us to get down into the mid 40s tonight, so slowly but surely those high and low temperatures are starting to move themselves down closer and closer to where our average should be, which still, we're not even close for mid-October. Not that anybody's complaining. Temperatures will pop up into the 50s fairly quickly, so we'll be in the 50s from 9 o'clock and later. Some spots a little bit chillier tonight. 38 for Deer Park, 40 in Meade, 42 in Spirit Lake. Spangle gets down to 44 tonight. A little bit cooler in downtown Spokane as well, 43. While we're at 45 at the International Airport, and a little bit warmer out by Lake Coeur d'Alene. We mentioned air quality, and well, you see all these little white spots. These are not clouds. We're picking them up on our fog and low cloud satellite. Those are hot spots from wildfires. Talk about where the smoke is going for Sunday and beyond coming up.
Thanks, Matt. Well, in California, Stockton police believe they captured the serial killer responsible for the deaths of 6 people. A 7th victim was shot but survived. Stockton police say ballistics evidence linked the same gun to all of the shootings. Thanks to a tip from the public and solid investigative work, the suspect was taken into custody early this morning.
Our surveillance team followed this person while he was driving. We watched his patterns and determined early this morning he was on a mission to kill. He was out hunting.
Stockton police are confident they stopped another killing with it the arrest. The suspect is identified as 43-year-old Wesley Brownlee. The San Joaquin District Attorney's Office is reviewing the investigation to prepare murder charges against Brownlee. And a big election we've been telling you about is the Spokane County prosecutor race. Whoever's elected will shape how the county fights crime and holds people accountable. We talk to those candidates coming up. And a local business is struggling to keep its employees because of crime in the area. We'll hear from their CEO coming up.
Four News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by Culligan Water.
At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
We actually have a new service that we're providing with video banking. We're here to really help them and connect on a way that other institutions really can't.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Life happens, and you can't always wait for 2-day free shipping. Instead, head to your local Ace hardware store, where we've got just what you need in stock right now. Our experts give you the knowledge and personal touch you can't find online. And when you need help fixing your broken screen, unclogging that drain, need an extra key made, or that hard-to-find nut or bolt, we're right around the corner with the helpful advice and products you need without the wait.
Psoriasis really messes with you. Try, hope, fail.
No one should suffer like that.
I started Cosentix. 5 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
This is another one of those surprise medical bills you get in the mail. I've gotten them. You've gotten them. I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers. With inflation crushing our families, we need to put a stop to these. I support requiring hospitals, insurers, and doctors to disclose their prices so you can know the real cost and can shop around for the best care. I approve this message because no one likes surprises, especially this kind.
FanFest is back at Gonzaga. Fans had a chance to meet this season's women's basketball team and coaching staff and showed how excited they were for the upcoming season. Today, around the Northwest, the Gonzaga community came together to show their support yet again. Bronte Sorotsky shares fans' excitement from inside the kennel.
Last week, Gonzaga fans had the chance to meet their men's basketball team. Now, it's the women's team's turn. Before FanFest even started, fans were rushing to have the women's basketball team give them an autograph.
Go Zags.
The event gives fans a chance to meet their women's basketball team face to face.
They're an exciting program. They play well, they're fast, they're good, they're fun. We've enjoyed the coaches, the fans, the staff.
The crowd's energy showed how ready fans were to cheer on the women's team this season.
It's an absolute great atmosphere, a family atmosphere. The college, all what they stand for in the community, it's been excellent.
Fans say watching their favorite players on the court just feels like home.
It's just when you walk into the McCarthy Center and everybody's sitting down, the band starts up, it's just a feeling of I'm home. This is where I belong. This is where it happens.
Last year, the Zags ended their season with their 10th WCC championship title, as well as their 13th NCAA tournament appearance.
Go, ladies, let's take this conference and take it a lot further than that this year.
This year, the Zags are welcoming 10 returning players as well as 2 new transfers. Reporting in Spokane, Bronte Saratsky, 4 News Now.
And we have that full story on KXLY.com. Meanwhile, beautiful conditions for us this weekend. Summer-like weather is continuing, but Matt's telling us reality's around the corner.
That's right. The end looks to be in sight, finally, for some return to actual fall weather in the fall season. Like I said, though, not that anybody's complaining about how the weather has been lately. It has been gorgeous, and we'll have another beautiful sunny Sunday. Got a few more days of 70s, so it's not like it's right around the corner. And we'll continue with that up and down air quality as well. Changes are on the way, though. We can actually see them now in the 7-day forecast. So we'll get to that in a minute. Want to run over the air quality situation for you, though, and that begins with air quality alerts in Boundary County, in the Okanagan, the Waterville Plateau, and then over to the west side. Winds have been out of the east as we've gone through the day, and so that has helped air quality in much of the inland northwest. And in fact, we've seen improving air quality in Wenatchee and in the Methow Valley. However, a lot of that smoke is still trapped on the other side of the Selkirks. And so Bonners Ferry still with unhealthy air quality. And it's been that way more often than not over the past week. We got a few more days, and then I think we are going to finally see some relief, you folks in Boundary County. Here is the smoke forecast as we head into the morning. Notice things are a little bit thicker as you work your way to the west of Moses Lake and then up Wenatchee, Lake Chelan into the Omak area and the Methow Valley again. Probably seeing at least a small downgrade in air quality by the morning. Winds still generally out of the east and out of the southeast, and so that's going to keep most of the bigger fires that are up in the North Cascades. That's going to keep pushing the smoke over to the west side and over into the Vancouver, Canada area. We'll still see those areas near local fires continuing to have those air quality issues. Now around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene should be another quiet day. You can see winds out of the east to north-northeast at about 5-6 miles an hour. We'll be in the 70s again by the afternoon. So, hey, rinse and repeat forecast. That's how it's been all week. We're going to continue that for Sunday, and what a day it's going to be. 40s for the overnight. Still a few spots pretty mild. 50 Lewiston, Grand Coulee. You'll be close to 80 in the LC Valley again tomorrow. We're calling it at 79. A little optimistic there. 75 for Spokane, 73 in Coeur d'Alene, only up around 70 degrees in Bonners Ferry, and smoky once again. Now, we've got high pressure in control, and this is going to stay here for a little while, but I want to show you this, right? So you look out over the North Pacific where our storms come from. We got 2 big ones, one over the Alaskan Aleutian Islands and then over in Siberia. So these two, eventually they're going to punch that high pressure out of the way, and we are going to get fall weather started. Look at this. For the first time in forever, we've got a number that doesn't start with a 7 on the board. 60s for Friday. Windy weather as that cooler air begins to rush in. And yes, by next Saturday, an actual chance for rain. Talk a little bit more about this in the next half hour, so don't go anywhere.
Looking pretty nice. Thanks, Matt. Well, shattered glass belongings scattered. This is what employees at Sweet Frostings have found many times after finishing up their work. Sweet Frostings says it's struggling to keep employees because its parking lot is a hot spot for crime. Now, on top of paying to use the parking lot, they're trying to help repair employees' windows that have been smashed. The bake shop says they've dealt with crime as long as they've been in business downtown, but says in the past few weeks, it's gotten much worse. They've tried to set up security cameras, but can't because they don't own the parking lot. If you walk into their store, you'll see a tip jar, and they're trying to raise $3,000 to pay for these damages.
We're parking in diamond parking lots, which is everything that we have available to us. So if we had another place to park, we would. But we probably, as a company, as a whole, pay probably upwards of $2,000 a month or more to park in these private parking lots that give us absolutely no protection.
Diamond Parking Lot owns the lot that Sweet Frostings employees park in. And 4 News Now has reached out to Diamond Parking Lot for a comment and has not heard back. And the IRS is reaching out to more than 9 million Americans who may be missing out on COVID-related tax benefits. Eligible taxpayers could receive 5-figure payments, including stimulus money, if they qualify. The Internal Revenue Service is focusing on families and individuals who haven't filed a tax return yet for 2021. Millions of low-income Americans in particular do not appear to be taking advantage of temporary tax provisions Congress approved during the pandemic. The IRS is reminding them that they don't have to have big earnings to benefit and that they can still file even if they miss the April deadline. Starting this week, letters will be going out to remind taxpayers that they need to take action before the November 17th deadline. And now on to our For the People election coverage. A big election that we've been telling you about is the Spokane County prosecutor race. Whoever is elected will shape how the county fights crime and holds people accountable. 2 candidates are trying to earn your vote. Esther Bauer introduces us to who's running and their vision for the position.
Larry Haskell is the current county prosecutor, elected in 2014. He says being tough on crime is key to safety.
The fact is that the soft on crime, the more gentle approach, the alternatives, and we use those here, but to the extent that my opponent is advocating, those jurisdictions are doing very poorly. Look at King County, look at Seattle.
His opponent, Deb Conklin, says what he's suggesting isn't working because crime rates are still rising.
If we want to stop the revolving door, if we want to reduce crime, if we want to have safer neighborhoods, we have to address the root causes of crime. That means we have to be more interested in using the drug court, the veterans court, the mental health court.
Haskell blames a lot of the issues on Olympia, saying if reelected, he would lobby for more power to be put back in the hands of law enforcement and will take a stronger stance on drugs.
I'm going to try to lobby the legislature to put mandatory treatment in, regardless of whether they make it a misdemeanor or whether they make it a felony.
Conklin says she would try and help the capacity issue at the county jail by using pre-trial release programs and monitoring people from home.
We have ways to keep the community safe and also reduce the jail population and help people.
Conklin says the office has lost the trust of the people.
The reason I'm running in this race is because it is critically important that the people of Spokane County have faith in their prosecuting attorney.
Numerous media outlets reported on racist comments Haskell's wife made in the past, something he still says doesn't influence his ability to be fair.
I apologize for those comments, but they're not the policy of the office. They're not my policy, and they never will be my policy.
This current pastor wants to unseat the current prosecutor. Both say they are ready for the role and prepared to lead the largest law firm in Eastern Washington. Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
As a reminder, you can submit all of your questions and concerns about the midterm election and find our full voter guide on KXLY.com/forthepeople. And one of the most common drugs for ADHD is now in demand. The struggle to maintain the supply is coming up. And more young people are being diagnosed with cancer. How hospitals are dealing with the increasing treatments for children and young adults. And the infant care brand Abbott recalling its products once again. Coming up, the product that could be giving your baby a stomach ache.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
This is a town called Basic. It's pretty hard to stand out around here. But if you pull up in a 2022 Nissan Rogue, you'll stand out before your feet even hit the pavement.
Can you make mine look like that?
Anything but basic. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Get 1.9% financing for 36 months on Rogue or shop our inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
Do you have an upcoming Social Security disability hearing? It's not enough to tell the judge that you can't work. I'm Eric Pinar. An experienced attorney can help you present your case and clarify complicated decisions. So give us a call for your free consultation.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
Your heart is the beat of life. If you have heart failure, entrust your heart to Entresto, a medicine specifically made for heart failure. Entresto is the #1 heart failure brand prescribed by cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And just imagine where a healthier heart could take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure. And trust your heart to Entresto.
If you're looking to remodel your home with some new stylish flooring or maybe some modern wallscape ideas, then you need to visit one of Windsor Plywood's 2 locations for the best selection of doors, floors, moldings, and more.
Windsor Plywood.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Coeur d'Alene Convention and Visitors Bureau.
One of the most common drugs prescribed to treat ADHD is in short supply because of manufacturing delays. The agency's drug shortages website shows back orders for several generic forms of Adderall are expected to last until March. While other companies continue to produce the drug, they just say there isn't enough to meet the demand. If you have trouble filling your prescription, pediatric psychologist Benjamin Fields with Nationwide Children's Hospital says talk to your doctor.
Other stimulant medications too, and they could talk about whether there's options that their medical provider thinks would be appropriate, and I would certainly have them do that.
Experts say behavioral health experts can also help kids function with symptoms of ADHD that might mean changes in things like homework. The FDA says it will continue to monitor supply and help manufacturers to resolve the shortage. And Abbott Labs is recalling certain lots of its 2-ounce ready-to-feed liquid formula because of a problem with the bottle caps. The tops may not have been sealed completely and could cause the formula to spoil, which could cause stomach problems. Most of the affected products are distributed primarily to hospitals and doctors' offices. The recall does not include any powder formulas. Abbott says the recall involves a small fraction of total infant formula and should not affect the overall supply. Affected lot numbers can be found at similacrecall.com. And some scary news about an already terrifying diagnosis. More and more young people are getting cancer. Researchers at Harvard looked at cancer registry records from 44 countries and found that early onset cancers are rising rapidly. Colorectal and 13 other types of cancers that affect the digestive system are the most prevalent. Researchers say the spike is due to a number of things, including obesity, inactivity, diabetes, alcohol, smoking, environmental pollution, and diets high in red meat and added sugars. Shift work and lack of sleep could also be factors. Doctors say it's important to know your risks. Focus on a healthy diet and lifestyle and get screened perhaps even earlier than is typically recommended. Cancer is a serious diagnosis at any age, but when it shows up in younger adults, the tumors are usually more aggressive and they can go undetected for longer. An NBA legend and Basketball Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo is receiving treatment for a brain tumor in Atlanta. The league says the 56-year-old is in great spirits and is receiving the best care possible. Mutombo has described as one of the world's greatest humanitarians with a focus on bringing health care to those in need, including in his native country, Congo. The 4-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year and 8-time All-Star played 18 years of professional basketball. Mutombo was a shot-blocking legend for several teams, including the Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers, and the Houston Rockets. 4 News Now will be right back.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Arby's, 2 for $7. Every day, euros. Arby's with that great technique. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
Here's a high school hoops success story that almost didn't happen.
My favorite move is an in and out and a crossover.
Camden's always loved playing basketball. Her feet, not so much.
I would get a lot of shin splints, cramps. My feet were betraying me.
So her mom took her in for a fitting at the Good Feet store. Now she's got 2 rings and 2 clutch arch supports.
They're my secret weapon. I use them every single day.
Stop by for your free fitting at the Good Feet store.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word. I think we should hire more people.
Doc, I'm late for a meeting.
I'm thinking of starting my own practice.
Do it. Too much capital.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We should knock that wall down and expand.
Do it. There's always another wall beyond the wall.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
You hear stories every single day of people being mugged or shot.
I've been accosted by homeless people and drug addicts.
It is absolutely not safe.
We're lifelong Democrats.
I have voted for Patty Murray many times.
At least 5 times.
But I just can't do it this time.
We're voting for Tiffany Smiley.
Vote Tiffany Smiley.
Tiffany Smiley is the right person for the job.
She gives me hope.
I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
The nonstop sirens. This is why you don't vote for Patty Murray. It never used to be like this.
This is John. He hasn't worked this hard to only get this far with his cholesterol. Taken with a statin, Leqvio can lower bad cholesterol and keep it low with 2 doses a year. Side effects were injection site reaction, joint pain, urinary tract infection, diarrhea, chest cold, pain in legs or arms, and shortness of breath. With Leqvio, lowering cholesterol becomes just one more thing life throws your way. Ask your doctor about Leqvio. Lower, longer, Leqvio. Arby's, 2 for $7. Every day, classic beef and cheddar hard. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Sweet Palace and Sapphire Jewelry in Phillipsburg, Montana.
Quick thinking by a Florida deputy foiled both a car theft and a kidnapping. It's not clear if the thief realized the truck he stole had 2 children in it, but a deputy in Hillsborough County saved the day. The whole incident was captured on the deputy's body cam. Jada Williams shows us what exactly happened.
These not your car? Step out of the car.
It was so quick. It happened within minutes.
An unforgettable moment for Deputy Jonathan Pazmino Alvarez. He was working a separate call when he heard a plea that shocked him.
Out of nowhere, we see this gentleman running behind his truck, yelling. He just took my truck with my kids, and he looked at me. I'm pointing at the truck.
Give me the car keys. I know where dad is. I saw him running this way.
Deputy Pazmino Alvarez stopped the truck. Inside, 2 boys, ages 4 and 8.
They were crying. They were super upset, and as soon as they saw me, they lined up, they stopped crying, and they pointed out that he's not my father.
Step out of the car.
It's unclear if Kevin Smith knew the children were in the truck. Deputy Pazmino Alvarez says Smith didn't say anything after he was read his Miranda rights. Despite that, the deputy says the way he handled the call changed because of those kids.
Typically, for any high-risk call, we'll have to draw our guns out and make sure that we got every person out of the vehicle one by one. But knowing that there were kids there, I didn't want this person in front of the wheel to do anything irrational that could harm the kids.
Pazmino Alvarez previously taught kids swimming. This particular call, a soft spot for him, one that ended in gratitude all around.
At that moment, I talked to the dad. It was so brief. He just said to me, "I'm so glad you were there," and I looked back and said, "Wow, I'm glad I was there."
The suspect, Kevin Smith, was taken into custody. He faces 1 count of grand theft of motor vehicle and 2 counts of felony kidnapping. And we're uncovering new information tonight from the Bloomsday office following the resignation of race director John Neal and 2 board members. The former Bloomsday board director wrote about what he called a, quote, toxic leadership within the organization. We sat down with a former board member who talked about the high turnover rate at the Bloomsday in the past 18 months. Gary Markham dedicated 18 years to being a Bloomsday board member. He called recent leadership at Bloomsday dysfunctional, specifically calling out board president Dory Whitford. He says in all of the years he's worked with Neal, there was nothing that warranted his removal from office and would challenge any board member to show evidence of the contrary.
We've been profitable the last 3 years. We came through a pandemic. Everything seemed to be moving in the right direction. It's just disappointing to me that it came down to personal issues, because that's what I believe it is. I would challenge anyone still on that board to here's what John did that was egregious and worthy, made it necessary to let him go.
We reached out to Dory Whitford to see if she had a response to these claims, and we have yet to hear back. And natural disasters have been at the forefront of everyone's concerns in the U.S. lately. Even more concerning now, natural disasters are hurting children's education. We'll explain coming up.
Meanwhile, here in the Northwest, it has been a beautiful day thus far. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s around the region. We've got some more beautiful days ahead, but those days are numbered. We're tracking a big change in the pattern coming up in your First Alert forecast.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
A lot of politicians like to talk big, but where's the action? Al French is a leader we can trust, and Al's results speak for themselves. Al has won funding for our roads to keep goods moving. As costs skyrocket, Al has pledged no county property tax increase. His opponent wants to give criminals a get-out-of-jail-free card, while Al dedicated more funding to the Sheriff's Department to keep families safe.
I'm Al French. I'm asking for your vote so I can keep getting results for you.
It's time to prepare your home for the holidays with the home remodeling experts at Windsor Plywood.
It's time to shop for wood.
Discover new colors of luxury vinyl and laminate flooring, or check out many styles of engineered hardwood flooring. And you're going to love Spokane's largest selection of moldings, as well as many exotic hardwoods.
It's where the contractors go to get great ideas or to find replacement and upgraded looks for your home.
Windsor Plywood.
If you're looking to score big on the best lineup of new and used vehicles, then come on down to Finley.
At Finley Downtown Toyota, we've got over 3 blocks full of great choices, including the popular Toyota Tacoma and RAV4, perfect for the winter months ahead. And right now, you can also get great financing up to 60 months.
So if you're looking for a touchdown of savings,
you can find it at Finley. Finley Toyota's downtown.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
At 23, I quit my nursing job to care for my wounded husband, student loans and all. We are living proof that the American dream is about hand-ups, not handouts. That's why I think it's insane that Joe Biden and Patty Murray are sending a stadium full of new IRS agents to force families making less than $75,000 to pay for someone else's law degree. It's division wrapped in intimidation, and I will stop them. I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now, Special Edition.
A check on stories happening around the world today. Here's what's going on internationally. Ukraine's President Zelensky thanked President Joe Biden on Saturday morning for an additional $725 million in security aid on Twitter. The Biden administration authorized the additional presidential drawdown yesterday, and that includes ammunition, anti-tank weapons, and medical supplies. And exhausted rescuers are searching for survivors of a deadly coal mine explosion in northern Turkey. The country's interior ministers say at least 40 people are dead and dozens are reported trapped in the rubble. The blast happened near the Black Sea on Friday. What sparked the explosion is still unclear, but the energy minister earlier indicated there may have been naturally occurring gas, usually methane, in the mine. 110 people were working there at the time of that blast. And a new report says at least 35 people are dead as an outbreak of cholera spreads through Haiti. Nearly 300 people have been hospitalized since the beginning of the month. According to the report, civil unrest, lack of access to vulnerable populations, and fuel shortages are slowing the emergency response efforts. As the suffering in Haiti continues, a U.S. official says the Biden administration has drafted a United Nations Security Council resolution. It would support the deployment of a, quote, rapid action force to Haiti. And thousands of people across Australia's southeast are being asked to evacuate their homes. 2 days of continuous rains have triggered flash flooding, and fast-moving waters have burst riverbanks. The Maribyrnong River in Melbourne's northwest has been one of the most impacted areas near the city, with homes inundated with water. Officials say some areas have taken more than a month's worth of rain since last Wednesday. And around the nation, in Lee County, Florida, 3 badly damaged school districts are still closed weeks after Hurricane Ian passed through the state. The county was one of the hardest hit areas by the monster storm. A CNN Renee Marsh explains this is just one example of how the climate crisis is impacting education.
My goodness gracious. Melissa Wright sees the destruction at her 10-year-old son Zane's school for the first time.
That's the sign he stands in for the first day of school every year.
Fort Myers Beach Elementary is 1 block from the ocean. Hurricane Ian's powerful winds tore down walls, and its storm surge approached the top of the school doors, destroying nearly everything inside.
Losing that school it's probably what I've cried about the most.
It's been more than 2 weeks, and the entire Lee County School District remains shut down.
We do have schools that remain in a high needs category, suffering significant damage.
He already said this year was tougher for him than most, so I am worried about him falling behind.
Lee County schools are emblematic of a growing trend, the climate crisis disrupting school systems nationwide for months and in some cases years. In California, wildfires have been the leading cause of school closures. From 2018 to 2019, a record 2,295 schools closed. Last year in Louisiana, Hurricane Ida, a devastating Category 4 storm, ripped off roofs and destroyed schools. More than a year later, 2 schools for close to 900 students are still inoperable. And in Tennessee, 17 inches of rain fell in 24 hours, flooding Waverly Elementary and junior high school. More than a year later, some students are using an auditorium with partitions for classrooms. A government study found that since 2017, more than 300 presidentially declared major disasters have occurred across all 50 states and U.S. territories, with devastating effects on K-12 schools, including trauma and mental health issues, lost instructional time, and financial strain, something Waverly, Tennessee schools know well. After the flood there, students' test scores lagged behind the rest of the state.
Some of our staff and teachers lost their homes, they lost their loved ones, they lost, and their classrooms. So mentally wise, that has put a toll on them.
As schools struggle to recuperate from extreme weather, experts say they must better understand their future risk and rebuild more resilient structures.
Our public schools right now, they received a D+ on America's Infrastructure Report Card.
Wow. Until then, when extreme weather strikes, all that is lost will undoubtedly also include quality instructional time in school.
According to a new poll from Yale, a majority of Americans now believe that the U.S. is facing consequences of a warming world.
And when we talk about warming, certainly we see more, well, months like this more often. Long stretches of warm and unusually warm weather, especially in the shoulder season, spring and fall. And that certainly has been the case this year. We just had the warmest September we've ever had in Spokane. And now, take a zoom in here on our calendar for October. Every single day has been above 70 degrees. If we get to the 18th, and we think we will, with highs continuing to be in the 70s or hotter, well, that will be a brand new record for consecutive days and number of days 70 or warmer during the month. You can see our averages should be in the mid-50s by the time we get to next week. So it just shows you how crazy warm it is at this point in the season. We are waiting for fall weather. High pressure is in control. All of that wet weather is heading way up north, all the way up north to Alaska at this point. And that means with the warm weather, we're also seeing some air quality alerts. So coming up in your forecast, we got to talk about air quality and finally a change in this pattern and a look towards actual fall-like weather in just a few days.
Thanks. And in our Air 4 adventure, we take you on a new journey kayaking over the water with the beautiful fall foliage.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
This is a town called Basic. It's pretty hard to stand out around here. But if you pull up in a 2022 Nissan Rogue, you'll stand out before your feet even hit the pavement.
Can you make mine look like that?
Anything but basic. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Get 1.9% financing for 36 months on Rogue or shop our inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
It's time for change. It's time to heal the division in our state. As a representative of the people, I will fight for free enterprise and protect small business from the overreaching runaway government. I feel strongly that my skills and experience developed from my professional career are desperately needed in Olympia. It's time for less overreach and more freedom. I'm Suzanne Schmidt for 4th District Representative, Republican.
Our family is all over the place sometimes, but ICCU helps us keep up with them. We use card control to turn on Olive's debit card when she needs to pay for activities.
And turn it off when she's shopping online.
We make sure Forrest is depositing his lawn mowing checks into his college fund. And we definitely make sure to ask Grandma Ivy where all those Zelle transfers come from. Phew, was a lot of keeping up. You ready for a break?
This is John. He hasn't worked this hard to only get this far with his cholesterol. Taken with a statin, Leqvio can lower bad cholesterol and keep it low with 2 doses a year. Side effects were injection site reaction, joint pain, urinary tract infection, diarrhea, chest cold, pain in legs or arms, and shortness of breath. With Leqvio, lowering cholesterol becomes just one more thing life throws your way. Ask your doctor about Leqvio. Lower, longer, Leqvio.
Girls' nights out are now becoming girls' days out when you drive a fun new Jeep from Dishman.
Girls, they love to have fun.
Explore the fun of owning a Jeep. Whether you're dropping the kids off at soccer, just running around town, or spending the day outdoors, there's nothing quite like owning a Jeep.
And right now, you can get Dishman employee pricing when you custom order a new Jeep from Dishman.
It's more fun in a Jeep.
4 News Now is brought to you by Just Between Friends.
Well, thanks for staying up with us this evening. And like we have been saying for over 2 weeks now, not a whole lot of change in your forecast in the days ahead. That has been the whole month of October so far. We just keep on staying there, comfortable in the mid-70s. It's beautiful weather, but it is very unlike October. You can see this white line kind of way down here. Those are our averages, our average highs for this point in the year. And our low temperatures are quite mild as well. Talked about this a little bit on Friday. If you want to learn more, you can head over to KXLY.com. But we've got a blocking pattern in the atmosphere that's going to keep things pretty stable around here for at least about the next 5 days before we start to see some changes. Basically, this is a kink in our atmospheric hose, and so it's going to keep the storms away from us for at least a little bit longer. And hey, you know, on a weekend, we love to see that, right? So apple picking, pumpkins, all sorts of those fall things that you would probably like some nicer weather to do them in. This is really your last opportunity, because by next weekend, those changes are going to be here, and it is not going to be nearly as pleasant as it is going to be tomorrow. Highs back up to the 70s, lunchtime temperatures in the middle 60s. It has been feeling a little bit more like fall in the mornings, and it's just that degree or two difference that we've seen compared to last week. Lows for tonight, 30s in Colville, 40s for Bonners Ferry, 45 for Spokane, 49 in Coeur d'Alene, only down to 50 in Lewiston and Grand Coulee, Wenatchee, a little bit of smoke, and 52 degrees. Our highs, upper 70s around the Columbia Basin, close to 80 in the LC Valley, mid 70s on the Palouse, St. Mary's and Spokane hit 75. Coeur d'Alene, nice and comfortable, 73, and Sandpoint in the 60s. Nice having a lake nearby to moderate your temperatures. What has not been really moderated lately because of all this high pressure weather has been the smoke and those smoldering fires, especially in the Cascades and around Bonners Ferry. As we wake up in the morning, take a look here. Some smoky conditions moving in once again, but we do think it is going to be a decent air quality day for most areas away from fires, because those winds coming up out of the south and out of the east, that'll push all that smoke out towards the west side, just like it did today. So is fall weather on the way? We think so. There's some powerful storm systems gearing up to head our direction. Eventually, this high pressure weakens as we get into Sunday. That's going to open the door here for, you can see these cool colors, much cooler air, winds coming out of Alaska. That's going to bring us moisture as well. In fact, take a look at this. So this is one projection of when we could see some wet weather as that system comes in. As early as Friday night, you've got wet weather approaching, and by next Saturday, you can see that blue colors. That's right, our first mountain snow up in the highest elevations of the year. It has been a long time coming. Often we see that in September. Well, that certainly hasn't been the case this year. A lot of barren hillsides out there. As we head through the next few days, yeah, just enjoy it, because look at Friday, 66 and then 50s for the weekend. Windy weather as that cool air rushes in, and a chance of rain next weekend. It'll be very, very different 7 days from now.
Thanks, Matt. Well, these warmer than average temperatures are giving us a few more opportunities to break out the kayaks and the paddleboards and enjoy many lakes and rivers in the inland Northwest. Tonight, we are giving you a bird's eye view of what it's like to be on the water in the middle of October. Let's go for a ride over Priest Lake in this week's Air for Adventure.
This year has been just phenomenal at Priest Lake. The tamaracks haven't even turned yet, but in the fall, the hills are just a golden blaze of color when those trees turn. We've had such a beautiful fall this year, and I particularly like to kayak in the fall because the lake is so calm. It's just like glass, and also the temperatures are warm and hardly any wind, which makes for really pristine kayaking. Kayaking just brings so much peace and solitude, and it's good exercise, but there's just something about the rhythm of paddling and just kind of letting your mind go and be able to enjoy the scenery, listen to the birds, see the wildlife. I love to photograph from the water. There is such interesting views and vistas that one can get when you're right down on the water. It creates just wonderful photographs, and it's just stunning. Because I do like to photograph, I try to get out in the golden hour when the sun's just the hour before the sun goes down, and early in the morning when the sun starts setting is absolutely gorgeous. This time of year is my favorite. It is absolutely stunning. It's quiet, the lake is calm, the trees are turning, the wildlife is in abundance. The season is magical.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Democrats in Washington are threatening our way of life. Reckless spending fueling inflation. Shutting down energy production here at home. A push to defund the police. Kathy McMorris Rodgers is fighting every day to stop them and protect Eastern Washington. Cutting spending to curb inflation. Unleashing American energy production. And making sure law enforcement has the resources they need. Kathy McMorris Rodgers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rodgers, and I approve this message.
It says here, United Healthcare has America's most chosen Medicare plans and local Medicare plan experts.
They'll even find you a plan with good dental coverage.
How do you know?
Scott, my local Medicare plan expert. He helped me find the right plan.
With benefits including prescription, drug, vision, and dental coverage, our Washington team is ready to help you find a Medicare plan that meets your needs and budget.
Talk to a local Medicare plan expert today at 1-888-SHOP-UHC.
Consumer Cellular has the best customer service.
They care about the customer.
The best price with the best quality.
The prices, the coverage.
The coverage is great.
It was the same, if not better.
Consumer Cellular provides the exact same premium coverage as the nation's leading carriers for half the cost. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get talk, text, and data starting at just $20 a month.
It's like 4 scoops of ice cream for the price of 1.
Switch today and get a 100% risk-free guarantee. Call or go online.
This season, fall into Coeur d'Alene. Fall is a great time to visit Coeur d'Alene. With awesome weather, fall color cruises, exciting events, a variety of food, beer, and wine selections, and amazing accommodations. It's the perfect time to stay and play in CDA. Visit cdafall.com for more information.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs. 4 News Now is brought to you by Gamma Knife.
Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you know the Seattle Mariners were involved in a bit of history this afternoon/evening out in Seattle as they and the Houston Astros played in the first postseason game to reach 16 innings scoreless. Of course, none of that really matters if the M's couldn't get the win and avoid the sweeps at the hand of their rival. Well, let's just get to it. Fast forward to the top of the 16th inning, and 2 on for the Astros. Yuri Gurriel is going to take this ball deep to center, but Julio Rodriguez is there to rob him of the base hit and saves at least 1 run. So we're going to remain scoreless. Move to the bottom of the 17th, and a runner on second for Seattle with 2 outs, but Adam Frazier is going to pop up to shallow center, and that ends the inning. Another missed opportunity. And we just keep doing this over and over again. But we can't stay scoreless forever. And in the 18th, Jeremy Pena will go deep to left center field. That ball's going to carry into the beer garden. Don't worry, they've been sober for hours at this point. But more importantly, Houston now has the lead in Seattle's season down to their final 3 outs. And in the bottom of the inning, the rookie Julio Rodriguez, he's going to fly out to center, and that does it. Houston gets the win and the series sweep to move on to the ALCS, and so ends the historic season for Seattle, breaking that 20-year playoff drought. But maybe more importantly, will it be another 21 years until their next appearance? I don't think so. And through 5 games, the Eastern Washington Eagles own just a single win on the season, their worst start in more than a decade. But Saturday afternoon presented an opportunity to pick up their first Big Sky win and get back on track this season. But they'd have their work cut out for them against the number 5 Sacramento State team. First off, offensive possession for the Hornets. Quarterback Asher O'Hara with the keeper. He's in for the game's first points. And when the ensuing Eastern drive, Gunnar Talkington is going to be looking for something over the middle, but Brock Mather is there for the pick. He's going to shed a couple of tackles and takes it to the house for the pick 6 to extend the Sac State lead. Hornets would open up with a 21-0 lead in the first quarter, but the Eagles not going away. In the second, Talkington's going to find Efton Chisholm at the goal line to cut the lead. And a few minutes later, it's going to be Justice Jackson taking the handoff and getting the whole defense to bite on that one as he goes untouched, and we are all tied up at 21 apiece in the blink of an eye. The offense of Sac State, though, just too good to be held down as the Hornets drive right back down the field. O'Hara finishes it off with a dive over the pile to retake the lead. Then, with just seconds remaining in the half, it's going to be Jake Dunway. He's going to hit Marshall Martin. Turns upfield and just gets over the plane for the score. And the Hornets go into the break up big and don't look back from there. Now, with the loss, Eastern drops to 1-5 on the season and will now hit the road again as they face a former familiar face in Cal Poly and former head coach Bo Baldwin. Now let's head out to Missoula. The battle of the Little Brown Stein between Idaho and Montana. Vandals looking for their first win in the rivalry since 1999. Halfway through the second, Montana up by 3 and punting, but the snap's going to get over the reach of the punter and he's going to get tackled in the end zone for the safety. So the Vandals are going to make it a 1-point game. Then just before the half, the Grizz still up on top, but redshirt freshman Giovanni McCoy is going to get hit, throws it to Hayden Hatton. He's in for the touchdown, and Idaho back on top going into the break. Fast forward to the fourth quarter, Vandals trying to ice the game, and they do just that. Roshan Johnson punches it in from a yard out to make it a 2-score game, and the Vandals have officially put the rest of the FCS on notice after dropping their first 2 games of the season to Power 5 opponents. Jason Eck and them boys have rattled off 4 straight wins, and they're going to return home for a matchup with Portland State next weekend inside the Kibbie Dome. 4 News Now, we'll be right back.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
If you're looking to score big on the best lineup of new and used vehicles, then come on down to Finley. At Finley Downtown Toyota, we've got over 3 blocks full of great choices, including the popular Toyota Tacoma and RAV4, perfect for the winter months ahead. And right now, you can also get great financing up to 60 months. So if you're looking for a touchdown of savings, you can find it at Finley. Finley Toyota's downtown.
Consumer Cellular has the best customer service.
They care about the customer.
The best price with the best quality.
The prices, the coverage.
The coverage is great.
It was the same, if not better.
Consumer Cellular provides the exact same premium coverage as the nation's leading carriers for half the cost. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get talk, text, and data starting at just $20 a month.
It's like 4 scoops of ice cream for the price of 1.
Switch today and get a 100% risk-free guarantee. Call or go online.
Says here, United Healthcare has America's most chosen Medicare plans and local Medicare plan experts.
They'll even find you a plan with good dental coverage.
How do you know?
Scott, my local Medicare plan expert. He helped me find the right plan.
With benefits including prescription, drug, vision, and dental coverage, our Washington team is ready to help you find a Medicare plan that meets your needs and budget.
Talk to a local Medicare plan expert today at 1-888-SHOP-UHC.
Psoriasis really messes with you.
Try, hope, fail.
No one should suffer like that.
I started Cosentix. 5 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
Well, Zach Pillar and his dad were fishing when suddenly a massive whale breached the surface and crashed back into the water. The whale actually tapped their boat, but thankfully nobody was hurt. Can't even imagine that experience.
It's quite a shock right there.
Certainly. We hope you enjoy your Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.